Hello everybody, welcome back to Box Check. Today in this video we are entering a live online equipment auction and we are going to see if we can get this excavator that I'm targeting for $2,200 or less. Now the first portion of this video is going to be just really sort of a tutorial. Like, how do you bid on an online auction? What does this look like? And you're actually going to see me bid on this live auction. The second portion of the video is the interesting part where there may be some counter bids and you're going to see a timer on this site. So that's what the video is going to be formatted like. Let's get started with the first part of this video. So I'm going to pull up my screen and what we have here is Ritchie Brothers website. Now I'm not affiliated with Ritchie Brothers. I just so happen to really like their website. It's very intuitive. And it's pretty darn fun, I gotta say. So let me move some stuff around on my screen just to get it where I can see. And I'm also gonna put on my glasses so I can see. So this is the first page you're gonna see whenever you log into the site. I actually haven't entered the auction yet, but we're about to do that. Today's date is March 19th, 2026. Now the actual auction ends March 23rd. At I think noonish or something like that. Now you may be asking, why are we entering this auction now? Why so early? Well, here's the thing. Yesterday they opened it up. They opened it up where people can start bidding. And one of the first things I recommend you do if you're interested in this, I'm not telling you to do this. This is not investment advice, but if you are interested in going into one of these online auctions, I highly recommend you jump in there, a week prior to. Really investigate the different options that you possibly may be bidding on to try to learn about them and figure out which ones you want to bid on and which ones you just want to wave off and not even pay attention to. Because there's a lot to look at. Now, speaking of a lot to look at, let's look at this site. So the auction that I am specifically interested in is this one right here. Southeast Regional Auction. Sometimes they call it Southeast Regional Event, and it has the dates here. So I'm going to click on that upcoming auction and let it load here. Now, as you can see, there is just a plethora of stuff that's being auctioned, but I don't want to look at all this stuff. I am not interested in this soil compactor that is the size of my house, okay? I want something, I'm a homeowner, DIY, I want something kind of like what I already have, but maybe just a smidge better. We'll go into that in a second. So you can narrow this down. So I'm at the Southeast Regional Event, and I want to narrow this down. I want to see what excavators they have, right? So, right there, excavators. So let's click that. Now we can narrow this down even further. I'm not interested in something that is this old, so I'm going to pull this over. And let's just say, for this example, I want something that's new, 2025 or 2026 version. So that's going to narrow this down greatly. Now to get this even further organized, on this sort by, I sort by lot number. But essentially, you can see here that there's all these different excavators, but you can also see that there's multiple locations. So here's one that is in Lebanon, and then there's Newnan, Georgia. So that's the two locations that pulls up when you search Southeast Regional Event. That's the one I'm going after. But I'm not all that interested in going to Newnan. I am between Newnan and Lebanon, but I just want to focus on Lebanon. It's an easier drive for me. So, and this is the reason I sorted it by lot number. As you can see, it was all Newnan, and now we've entered the Lebanon. So I've got a WH12R mini excavator, and I'm fine with it. But what if I could get something that had a bigger engine, right? Or maybe that had more weight to it. So I'm only clicking on things that are bigger than my excavator. That's how I start. And I've already done this. I'm not going to make you go through this, but you can see how these have these like little hearts right here. So I've already done this. I've marked all the ones that are in the Lebanon location that are going to be an improvement on what I have, improvement by weight or engine. So that's kind of what it looks like to search for the particular auction that's close to you, and then also how you put things on your watch list. And that's what we're going to look at next, is the watch list. This is oh so important, by the way. Now, as you can see, I've got 43 things in my watch list, but what I did was this. I sorted that by lot number, and everything that was bigger than my machine, I just went ahead and put it on the watch list. Now what I'm going to do, this is where I can, hang on, let's change this to lot number. Lot number ascending is what I click. Okay, now I do have these two Noonan ones on here, not because I'm going to bid on them, I just want to see what they go for. But here we go. Here we start with Lebanon, and this is where I would click on each individual machine, really check it out. If it's something I'm not interested in, you would click that little heart and it takes it out of your watch list, so you don't have to look at it anymore. So it really helps you keep organized. But I will go ahead and show you the one that we are going to target, because I've already done this where I've clicked these different ones. Unfortunately, the one that we're going to target is towards the bottom. Oh, look at this. Now, I put this on, we're going to look at this one. This is not the one I'm targeting, but I put this on the watch list. This one is equivalent to mine. I mean, it literally looks exactly like my WH12R. It's just a different color and has a different sticker on it. But look at this. This thing is clearly been impacted by something. I don't know if it was a shipping container, another machine. But I'm curious what this one goes for. Now, it looks to me like in the pictures, it's only the canopy frame that is damaged. Let's look at some other pictures. I don't see any damage. I also don't see a counterweight. That just looks like sheet metal. Not the end of the world. I'm sure it's made up weight in other places. But this one, I wonder what it's going to go for. I mean, I am okay with a machine that doesn't have a canopy, actually. You can take that canopy off and, you know, bend that bar back up. This one right here. But if it's dirt cheap, we may bid on that one. All right, let's back out. This is not the one we're targeting. Oh, we got to start over. Don't want to make you sick. We're looking for the Vicsec there it is, VC16, and there's only one of these. So let's click on this, and I'm going to tell you why we're targeting this one, and we may go ahead and throw out a bid. All right, this is a 2025, so it probably arrived there in late fall or something. But let's look at these pictures, and I'm going to show you why I want this one. All right, so let's just start off with this. It does not have a hydraulic thumb. That's not a big deal. They're not expensive to add on. I do not see any damage. It has more of a high back chair. I can see some armrest. It has the pilot style controls. Let's click to the next picture. It does have this access where I can open up this panel, albeit it doesn't appear that there's a lot of opening there, but it's there. It's easier to access than my current excavator. This should weigh more than my current excavator. This does not appear to be a legitimate counterweight, but that's okay. It's probably got weight in steel and other places that make that up. It should be heavier than my machine. All right. Right there is one of the reasons I want to target this one. 23 horsepower. It's got the Rado 739cc engine, which is on my LRT23, and I am a really big fan of that engine. Mine has done wonderful, and it delivers plenty of power. Okay, here's another thing I'm noticing. All the cylinders are not in the way of the bucket or something that you would be grabbing and pulling in. It does appear that this has the side swing boom. Another thing is these drive motors have 3 lines going to it. I am not a hydraulic expert, guys, but apparently if it's got 3, that's a good thing. I've heard it called a K-string. I don't know, but that's supposed to be a good thing. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to stop on this picture, and this was really the selling point and why I want to bid on this one. So the V-twin 739cc engine, that's a big plus. Insulated exhaust. That's a big plus. It's something I don't have right now. Something else I don't have right now. I can see a fan And my guess is this would be a hydraulic oil cooler. Again, this does not appear to be a real counterweight, but that's not the end of the world. Really the engine, these three things right here, the oil cooler, V-twin engine, insulated exhaust, those are three things that I don't have right now, and it should weigh more. And the drive motors have 3 different lines going to it. And it has side swing boom. So this is what we are targeting, guys. All right, but let me show you something really quick before I throw out a bid. This is something I do. I am a spreadsheet nerd. Okay, I don't know if you knew that or not, but I'm a spreadsheet nerd. And I've created this equipment auction cost sheet. And this one is specifically geared to for bids that are greater than $1,000. I'll explain why in a second. For the Lebanon, Tennessee location, which has a tax rate of 9.75%. So I've made this calculator to where that in these, heightened moments of intensity or stress during an auction, I can just jump over here and I can type in any number I want, and it's going to spit out the grand total. So let's just say, for example, $3,000 was what the winning bid ends up being. This is how Ritchie Brothers breaks down their cost sheet, the final number. So let's look at it real quick. Hypothetically, if we bid $3,000 and that's what it ended up being, we're actually going to pay $3,621.75. We've got these line items right here, the piece of equipment, the cost for that, and then the taxes on that. And then there's the total. The auction fee of 10%, which would be $300. And then the taxes on that auction fee. And then these two total together, and we end up with $3,621. This lets me know exactly what it's going to cost me. Now, I'm not going to bid $3,000 today, okay? What did I say at the beginning of the video? I want to say $2,200 is what I said that I could throw out there. By the way, if my wife, she has no idea what I'm doing right now. All right, so real quick, $2,000. If it was $2,000, the grand total should be pretty darn close to $2,414.50. Should be exactly, actually. Let's see, what did I say? $2,200 would be maybe my max bid. So that would be $2,655. Now, once we bid, you can't take it back. But if you bid too low, you may regret it. Unfortunately, there's only one of those. I wish that there was like a dozen of them. If there was a dozen of them, I would have a pretty darn good shot. I don't know that I'm going to get this, but I also only have so much money to spend. Okay, so with that being said, let's jump over to the auction. We still have this pulled up. This is the VC16 that has the V-twin engine, insulation, oil cooler. We're going to click bid now and bid as, okay, had to confirm that. Okay, so now we're officially registered. I had to blur that out because it has personal information, but now let's bid. What should we start with? I know this is not live streamed, but I said $2,200. Man, if my wife knew what I was doing. If I click this button, it's a done deal, like it is sent. I'm going to click this button. Oh, confirm it. So, okay, this is interesting. Apparently, I'm the only one that's bid on this so far because the highest bid is still $5. Now, it's not going to be that way Monday, I can assure you. We've bid $2,200. Let's see what happens with this. Listen, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video here, and we will pick this back up Monday, probably 15 minutes before the auction ends. We're going to see where we're at, and we may even bid on some augers, which I have in that watch list But we will look at that more when I pick this up. So I'll see you Monday. It's Sunday, 24 hours before this auction ends, and I've got breaking news on the VC16 that we are targeting. We have officially been outbid, and this has just literally happened within the past hour. So a lot has actually taken place over the last 24 hours, overnight. Currently, we are looking at 16 different bids on the VC16. It jumped up to $1,100, then it went to $1,300. And actually, while I was setting up this equipment, it jumped to $2,300. So there's definitely a lot more battling going on with this auction versus the December auction, the one that happened a week before Christmas. So early on, we can answer this question: can I get this excavator for $2,200 or less? And the answer is no, not this time. But we may not be completely out of the game yet. I think I'm going to load another bid in and then fire that one off. And we'll do that in just a moment. But real quick, I've done some research over the weekend. It helped tell me the story about the potential value of this VC16. So I'm going to show you that really quick. Okay, so I told you I'm a spreadsheet nerd, and so what I did over the weekend was I generated just a little data sheet of the auction results from the December 2025 auction. Now, these are lower prices than normal, okay? What you're seeing here. That was actually, I feel like it had a lot to do with the fact that it was a week before Christmas. And just not a lot of people are searching out for equipment then. That's my theory anyway. But let's just focus on this section right here. So the 16 series, there's one that's highlighted, actually exactly like this one. This Vicsec VC16, $2,200 is what somebody got one for. I think they got an awesome deal. Now, notice that I have certain ones highlighted, and these that are highlighted have the V-twin engine. Quite frankly, this whole category right here, the 20 series, those, quite frankly, are pretty darn comparable to this VC16. So I feel like our counter bid should be somewhere between what we bid, $2,200, and $3,000. So I may load and fire off $2,600 just to see what happens. So, okay. So again, here's our target, VC16. We've been outbid. Let's load another round in the chamber. All right, and let's, oh, it won't let me do $2,600. So it's $2,500 or $2,750. Let's go to my little cost sheet here, because I had this preloaded, 2,600, 2,750. Woo! You see how the price just climbs up like that? Wow. Okay. I am extremely competitive. I don't know if you do that or not, but I am very competitive. And that's why this is dangerous for me. All right, so 2750 loaded in the chamber, firing. Okay, there it is. So we are back at the highest bid for now. I can't bid anymore. I can't bid any more than that right now. Okay, we just added to our bid. I've got it up to $3,000 now. That gives us one more shot. Now I can't do any more than that. I mean, the next level right here is $3,250. So as you can see, it's going in $250 increments instead of $100 increments now. But I'm going to tell you why I did that. I know I said I wasn't going to go up anymore. And yes, I know I am competitive. I'm super competitive, and the dopamine is at an all-time high right now. Okay, but hear me out, okay? This is in a completely different category because it's got the V-twin engine, but it's also in a different category because it has the side swing boom. It's got the drive motors with 3 lines to it, the oil cooler. The only other ones that have that are the 20 series, which we're going for around $3,000. Again, this was a week before Christmas. In fact, I actually think this VC16 actually may have some more features than these. So here's where we're at. Our max bid is $3,000. So for somebody to outbid us at this point, they'll have to bid $3,250. Maybe that will make it to where that we can get this, because I got to tell you, if you can't tell, I'm a little bit pumped about this one. Okay, we just now bid $3,500. Again, we've got, let's see here, we've got 40 minutes remaining. Yeah, I think 40 minutes remaining. Whew. Okay, so I'm going to click on it. We've got the high bid. Hopefully that'll keep people away for the remaining 45 minutes. All right, guys, here we go. So there's 8 minutes remaining, actually 7 minutes and 50 seconds remaining, and I'll just keep the video rolling from this point without doing a lot of clips. So, yes, you saw me bid $3,500 for the VC16. Wasn't anticipating on doing that, but, you know, that happened. So, like I said, I'm not going to cut anything. I'm just going to let this roll, and we're going to see exactly what happens. Now, I did a poor job explaining why to sort by lot number ascending. So I'm going to show you why. I'm going to do a better job explaining while we are waiting. So right now on the watch list, these are all the items in my watch list. I've thinned it down. There's 32 just because I want to see what some things go for, not because I'm going to bid on them. But we have selected within this list lot number ascending. So that not only separates Noonan from Lebanon, because Noonan uses different lot numbers, but it's also going to separate which ones get auctioned off first. So, for example, lot number 653 right here is already closed. So this one sold, that one sold, that one sold, that one sold. Well, let me get down to some that hadn't sold yet. Okay, so this one has a minute remaining, only because somebody has bid within the last 10 seconds. That automatically adds 2 minutes. This one has 25 seconds left. This is an H15R at $2,300. There's another H15R for $2,300. But these are separated to where that as we go down this list, because it's lot number ascending, unless the time has been extended because somebody bid at the last 10 seconds, they should be selling in kind of that chronological order. I hope that made sense. Interesting. MX-15 RX, those are pretty low. Now you saw those that were sold above. I'm not going to scroll back up there. These are still in the lower $1,000 ends with 2 to 3 minutes remaining. Let's go back down and check on our... All right, we're still winning. Okay, interesting. Look at this. The damaged goods VC13 is $1,600, but the one right above it is still $1,000. It's still less. Why do people want the damaged one so bad? So I did think about bidding on this. I was going to bid something that was less than $1,000. I was actually thinking $800, just because I don't know what else is wrong with it. But obviously we're not going to do that. Now, you just saw my screen flicker, so something has happened. probably one of them sold. Let me go back up here where the times are down. All right, so there's an MX-15RX. Okay, so these are jumping up now. This one has 1 second left, right here, this one. Oh, see that? Somebody bid at the last second. And so now it's jumped back, now it's jumped up to 2,300. So there's not a lot of yelling and screaming in the online auction. As you can see, this is just a lot of numbers. You're just watching digits, okay? These two are about to go. So we'll watch these two right here. Looks like they're about 7 seconds apart. These are at $2,300 each. This is the MX-15RX. Somebody may get them for $2,300. See that? This one jumped up to $2,400, so it extended the time. Looks like a minute and a half. So if somebody bids, again, at the last 10 or 15 seconds, they automatically add some time. Good business strategy to get that price up, right? All right, let's check on our person, our VC16. All right, we got 3 minutes, 15 seconds left now, 21 total bids. I think 4 of those are us. And look at this lonely guy here at the end. This H15R, $1,100. Still 4 minutes plus on that one. I'm curious if is there something wrong with this? I thought I looked at all these pictures, but $1,000 for that one. I didn't see anything wrong with it. That one has the 13.5 horsepower engine on it. All right, let's scroll back up and see what's happening. This one, it just now happened to this one. Somebody bid $2,300 the last second, and this time got extended, it looks like, if I caught that right. Now these are $2,400 each. All right, this one sold for $2,300. H15R sold for $2,300, $2,300, $2,200. So these 15 series categories, it looks like $2,300 to $2,400 is what they are selling for. That one just now sold for $2,400. That's the bid price, by the way. Okay, another one, this H15R just sold for $2,400. Okay, that one just jumped up from, it was in the 1,000 something and just jumped back up. Let's check on our minute and 35 seconds left. This is so fun and dangerous. You know, I didn't really set a good example. So point number 3 that I wanted to make was know your stopping point. I got kind of carried away there. So again, I wasn't a good example of that. But after evaluating this Vicsec, the VC16, it has just a ton of features that the other ones doesn't have. A lot of features, quite frankly. And I wouldn't call them bells and whistles because it doesn't have like digital engine monitoring or anything like that. But none of these other excavators really have all the stuff that this has. 44 seconds remaining. And everything above it except our... Got a little lost there. So the Vicsec 15Y, the one that was above the damaged goods ones, that was, what was it, 1,000 or 1,100? Sold for 2,300 just now. This one's about to sell. Damaged goods. Somebody bid $2,100 on the damage. We got 8 seconds left, 7 seconds. This is us right here. This is us. 3 seconds. 2. Let's see what happens. Are you serious? $4,250 is what somebody bid at the very last second. Which is strange because normally it extends the time. So there must have been some sort of lag there. All right, guys, we did not get the VC16, but that's okay. There's going to be other excavators that show up at auctions in the future, and I will just do the same thing I did today until I score a good deal on an excavator that's a little bit better than the one that I have now. Now, something I'm going to note, and you probably noticed this in the video, it's very apparent people are more willing to spend more money in this spring auction versus the December auction. I don't know if you paid attention to those stats, but somebody got a VC16 for $2,200 during the December auction. That's actually where I came up with the number. It's plausible. Somebody did it. I was hoping that would be us today, but it wasn't. But you saw what somebody paid for the exact same machine during this spring auction. I just found that interesting to see the difference. I mean, that was a stark difference in how much drive the consumer had during this one versus the December one. Now, another thing I'm going to note is you only saw one bidding strategy in this video. There's actually two other strategies a person could use. So strategy number 2 is it's made for that person that wants to be disciplined. You could do what we did in the beginning, do your research, figure out what your limit is on a particular target. You throw out your max bid, you shut down the computer, and you don't look at it again until the auction is over. This is great for somebody that either doesn't have time or they don't want to be tempted to do what I did, what you saw me do. Now, what's great about this site is it is going to do the bidding for you. You don't have to constantly check it like I did. It will continuously bid only what's necessary until it crosses your max bid, if it does. So that's strategy number 2. Strategy number 3 is we actually saw this at the end where people waited until those last 20 to 10 seconds, somewhere in that neighborhood. Boom, that's whenever they drop their bid. And obviously it works for some people.